We have a 5-minute pre-recorded pitch and then a 3-minute live Q&A with our jury. A moderator checks for the format compliance, and although the jury deliberates today, then the announcement of the winners will only happen during the live stream tomorrow on October 1st. So yes, we are keeping you all waiting. So the top 1 and 2 teams from each theme will make up the top 16 that pitch on Friday on the final stage. And all top 16 teams get access to the Climate-KIC Climate-Launchpad Accelerator, and the top 1, 2, 3 teams win a cash prize, as well as the top 1 team from the theme. So the top 1 team and the top 3 will only be announced after the final pitches on Friday. Now, program today. So we have semi-final pitching sessions that have been happening all day, 68 teams split into 8 themes. Tomorrow we have interactive workshops, keynotes, and CLPT, and the big announcements. And then on Friday, the global grand final. So now, before we meet the jury, then I'd like to firstly congratulate all the teams that have made it so far this year in Climate Launchpad 2020. I'm sure you'll all agree with me that this year was a bit of a crazy year. We've gone completely digital, everything is different, but I think we still managed to make it a good one. We had 3,020 applications over 56 countries this year. So from there, the top teams were brought to a national boot camp, and then the top 3 teams won nationally and then competed regionally. And you all here are the tops of your region, so really big congratulations there. And the theme today is Cleantech. So this is a broadest theme in of our 8 themes, but it's really at the core of what Climate Launchpad is. We are a green business idea. We are a clean tech competition. Within the clean tech, we focus on ideas that provide superior performance at lower costs, or we reduce or eliminate negative climate impact and improve responsible use of natural resources. So with that going forward, then I'd like to introduce our jury. We have with us today, we have Christine Marot, who is from the IBL group, and she's the group head of technology and sustainability from Mauritius. And Christine, I'd like to introduce you to say a little bit about what you're looking for in a startup today.
Yes, of course. Good luck to everybody, first of all. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be there today. I'll be obviously looking a lot to innovation and technology, which are my favorites. But of course, I really want to see the impact you'll have on society, on job creation in a world which is in a pretty bad state as far as this is concerned.
Thank you, Christine. And next up, we have Suhair Khalik, who is a co-founder and partner of Team Up from Pakistan. Now, Suhair, what will strike you with a startup? I think we've got you on mute here.
Sorry. I always look for the energy and the enthusiasm of the team. I think so. I will be watching that very closely. And the other thing I'd love to see is potential for scalability.
Thank you. And next up, we have Pippa Ghali, who is the founder and director of Zero Carbon Capital from England. Pippa?
Hi, everybody. Congratulations on making it to the grand final. I'm Pippa Ghali. I'm an early stage clean tech investor as an angel in the US and the UK. And I also have set up and run a small fund, the Zero Carbon Fund, to invest in early stage companies with scientific innovation and a big potential climate impact. And I'm looking for the same things as the other judges, of course. I think I would just add strong logic. So I think often you see interesting ideas from companies, but the claims just don't really check out when you break it down into first principles and think through, like, is this really going to have the impact that is being claimed by the company? So I'd really challenge everybody to talk about, the strength of the evidence for the logic between each of their steps of thinking.
Thank you, Pippa. And here we have Ron Imick, who is the entrepreneur in residence for Sustainable Nation Ireland. Now, Ron.
What I look for is the story, and then particularly the magic within the story. And what I have a particular interest in is the value proposition. And I'm delighted to be here, and I wish you all the best of luck with the presentations.
Thanks very much, Ron. So there you have it, startups. You know what our jury are looking for, so let's give it to them. Let's go. So here we have the pitching order for today. Painters first, then Coco Custo, Plastic Back, Biomech, Manta, Ocean Purpose Project, Aquamidate, Solar Grid X, and Kairos Energy. I'll stop at this slide for a minute to let you all prepare a little bit, let it sink in. Oh. Okay, Painter, you are first up. Good luck today. So, first startup, here we go.
We are Painter. We rethink the packaging of paint. We have developed a sustainable and user-centered alternative. Bans on single-use plastic are happening all over the world, and we take the battle to the painting industry. Paint buckets are an overlooked single-use plastic. Every month, 1 million paint buckets are thrown out in Denmark. This translates roughly into 100,000 Danish citizens' yearly plastic consumption. Our packaging solution is a box with 2 bags filled with paint, designed for the professional painter's workflow. Our customer, the paint manufacturers, haven't seen radical innovation since plastic was invented. Our goal is to deliver a product that solves their problems with the new legislation concerning plastics, while offering the painters a better tool. We aim to license our product at a competitive price compared to existing solutions. Our deal is to take a license of 15%, which translates to €7,500 per 100,000 products sold. Our beachhead market is the Danish paint suppliers. This week, we got the approval from the board of Flügger AS. This means that we are on the path of obtaining 33% of the Danish market within the first years, which is worth €2.2 million. We expect to enter the Scandinavian market, worth €26 million by 2023, through deals with new paint suppliers. Finally, by 2025, we'll be addressing the European market with a potential market size of up to €399 million. We benefit both the manufacturer and end user. The manufacturer is facing the European EPR fee in 2025 and the Danish climate fee in 2030 that will impact the cost of packaging. As seen on the graph, our solution is already cheaper today, and in the near future it will outcompete existing solutions by almost €0.50 per product. That's a lot of money in the big perspective. Our product is a sturdy cardboard box with 2 tough plastic bags, each containing 5 liters of paint. The paint bags are designed to fit the existing roller buckets used by the professional painters. The bags can be opened and closed again with an effective sealing mechanism. Furthermore, it is designed to help the painters reduce the risk of injuries with ergonomic handles. Our product's major advantages are 75% reduced CO2 emissions, which is up to 1.1 kilogram per bucket. It saves 25 minutes of labor a day for the painter, and the airless bags extends the lifetime of paint and reduce the amount of biocides needed. We are users of the iterative philosophy design thinking. where we find the problem before the solution. Our early assumptions were paint buckets are single-use plastic, poor ergonomic design, which results in back injuries, and no alternative solution exists. We discovered our main problem through interviews and workshops with key members of the industry. Our key learnings are: the 2025 initiative pushes the suppliers towards delivering sustainable packaging. The packaging is designed for the supplier, not the painter's needs. The painter is more interested in saving time than money on products. With our problem, we now sought to find a solution. Today we have our MVP that is created with feedback from the painters, suppliers, and manufacturers. Earlier this week, we pitched our MVP for Flügger AS, and they were amazed by the solution at this stage. We are now co-creating with Flügger to make it a reality. In 2025, we plan to have 50% of the Scandinavian market. This adds up to a total license of 1.7 million euros each year. It takes 1.5 kilogram of CO2 to produce a standard 10-liter paint bucket. Our product saves 75% of this emission, meaning that we save 8,400 tons of CO2 per year, when we have 66% of our beachhead market. Furthermore, the reduction of biocides will impact the future water quality of tap water and marine environments. Biocides are also a known cause of allergy, and we want to keep the users safe while they paint their futures. Wrapping up with the team behind the innovation, we have 6 young and hardworking members, each with their key skills to make this project go all the way. Our goals are to reduce the work injuries amongst painters from heavy lifts with 50%, reduce CO2 emission, which is equivalent to 0.1 per mil of the Danish emissions by 2025, and reach a turnover of 3.5 million euros in 2025. Thank you.
Hello.
There we are. Thank you very much, Painter. Now it's time for questions and answers. So jury members, I will call on you. Just raise your hand. Perfect. Ron.
Is your invention protected or patented?
No, at this stage, it's not patented or protected.
The problem in the painting industry at the moment is that it's the plastic producers that are making the current products. So they aren't looking at other materials at all. That's why we have an advantage at the moment.
Okay, but what's stopping from anybody else to do the same thing, which will be a good thing, because I think it's a compelling story, but what's stopping anybody else from doing the same thing?
So at the moment, no one is looking at this, but we have a good way of producing this that might be patentable. We don't know that yet.
Okay, thank you.
And Pippa, I saw your hand up.
I had the exact same question, which is, it's an obvious one that there doesn't seem to be a way to close the door to other people from copying what is essentially a bag. So this is a great idea, and you've spotted a source of waste here that couldn't be reduced, and that will be of huge benefit. But I'm not sure how you're going to make a company out of it. Your first mover advantage will only get you so far. So can you tell me what you've you must have thought of this too. So what are your strategies here to kind of protect that advantage?
So that's why we're such a close collaboration with Flügger at the moment, who's the biggest Danish painting industry, the biggest painting in Denmark. And so by collaborating with them, we are indoor already. We're in the painting industry and we're ahead of others that might be able to do the same product. And it would take too much for them to do it in their development department. We're already in the door. And that's what makes us able to do this rather than competition.
Yes, Suhair.
So I saw your costing. I mean, what does that leave you in terms of a margin, if you don't mind sharing that? Per you said $1.06 versus 60 cents for your costs. So what does that leave you in terms of a margin, if any?
So that's the price listed on the slide is the production price along with the prices for the materials, as well as the fees that will end up. So therefore, that's also the production price of the bucket. So it's not comparable to what the actual price for the Flügger would be, or the company. So therefore, we could scale it. We could potentially set the price at the same price point at the bucket now, and therefore having 50% in margins. Otherwise, we could even set it higher because we have so much advantage for the painters. Saving time actually saves the painters so many money, and that's the most important for them as our key learnings. But we can also set it lower and have a large competitive advantage.
And is the
seconds left.
Sorry, and is the plastic production, the bag production, is that something specialized that you have a special place to do, or is it just off the market?
Sorry, we've reached the end of the 3 minutes here.
Cut it.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks very much. Yeah. For next time, I will be a little bit louder about the 30-second warning for everybody. So thank you very much, Painter. And here we have the next startup, which is Coco.
I'm Sean,
Gusto.
and back in 2017, I was diving off the coast of a tropical island surrounded by beautiful coral and colorful fish. Yet I was completely horrified. My dive instructors had told me that cleaning chemical runoff from the resorts had affected the coral in the shallower bay, and most of them were now bleached. I soon learned that linear I'm Sean, and back in 2017, I was diving off the coast of a tropical island surrounded by beautiful coral and colorful fish. Yet I was completely horrified. My dive instructors had told me that cleaning chemical runoff from the resorts had affected the coral in the shallower bay, and most of them were now bleached. I soon learned that linear alkyl benzene sulfonate can kill coral polyps at even 5 parts per million. This is the main surfactant in detergents. When I came home from the trip, I couldn't find a suitable alternative, and that's when I decided to start Coco Gusto. Hi, we're Coco Gusto. We make sustainable cleaning products that are eco-friendly, non-toxic, and 100% biodegradable for home and fabric care, which we sell for €4.02 a kg to young urban mothers in the top 2% income brackets. With close to 800,000 pregnant women and mothers of children under 3 years of age in the highest 2% income brackets every year, we have valued our beachhead market at €33 million. Coco Gusto is the best priced product in the baby-safe detergents market at €4.02 a kg, including taxes, while direct competitors are priced from €5.42 to €7.45 for an equivalent volume or weight. Additionally, on a per wash basis, Coco Gusto is priced the same as market-leading detergents. Thus, in the future, we hope that from just being a detergent from babies, our customers use our product for the whole family as well. Our product is naturally formulated. Unlike other baby-safe detergents, we do not use ethoxylated surfactants, glycols, or artificial fragrances. Our steel tin and refill program is a hit with our customers, and our detergent is specially formulated to work in cold water washes. Prior to launching, we surveyed 41 women and found that while most people find it important to keep toxins out of their home, most of them were unaware of the adverse health effects of laundry detergents. It also helped us narrow down to our beachhead market, as we learned over 60% of people with children will use a different detergent for their clothes. Today, 77% of our existing customers say that they would recommend Coco Gusto. We believe we can capture 10% of our beachhead market by 2023, or year 4 of sales for us. With an average customer buying 10 units a year, it leaves us with a sizable profit of €644,000 per year. This is dependent on strong customer referrals continuing, as well as our customers buying our refills, since the cost of the steel tin is high. We will achieve this through robust subscription programs across multiple online and offline channels. Who would think that detergent alone can have such an immense climate impact? But it turns out that we can save 34,500 tons of CO2 equivalent emissions per year with 10% of our beachhead market. This is because our surfactants are plant-based and made from organically farmed ingredients instead of being petrochemical-based. Thus, end-of-life emissions are 99% lower, and our surfactant production life cycle inventory has an 85% lower carbon impact. With 50 washes per kg versus 16 for conventional detergents, transportation emissions are 68% lower as well. Last but not least, since Coco Custo is formulated to be effective at cold temperatures, all water heating isn't required. Besides the climate impact, main surface and freshwater pollutants such as phosphorus, boron, and chlorine are not present in our detergent. And finally, our detergent breaks down both aerobically and anaerobically and is compatible with septic tanks. Hi, I'm Shan. I'm founder and CEO of Coco Custo. It is my dream to create a world where sustainable products aren't a chore or more expensive than the alternative. To be a change maker in the industry and champion the circular economy, to create opportunities for women from economically weaker sections of society, and for my company to be valued at 25 million euros by 2028. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Coco Custo. Are you with us?
Yes, hi.
Hi, Sean.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Welcome. So, Ron, I see your hand up.
How are you going to get to 80,000 customers? And what's your marketing budget to get there?
My marketing budget is 4,200 rupees per customer. That's around 50 euros per customer.
Okay.
Right now, we've been doing sales for a year. We're at 100 customers. And this has been, completely bootstrapped. And we've been growing at a 30% month-on-month rate. So with funding and having the marketing budget, we believe we can get to 80,000 customers.
And the next question is, how are you going to organize a refill? Is that on a national level?
Yes, currently we are doing refills on a national level. We use parchment paper to send the refills, which is completely compostable.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, yes, Christine.
Just wanted to understand, have you developed a special formula which warrants the fact that you can do 50 washes instead of 16 with 1 liter?
Yes, so it's actually 1 kilogram. It's a powder detergent. Yes, there was an 18-month development cycle, and there was a lot of R&D that went into it, where we came up with a formula that worked based on the AISE standard that had the same cleaning efficacy and occasionally better in the case of turmeric for laundry detergents at that concentration.
Thank you.
Okay, Pippa, I saw your hand up.
Hi, so congratulations, it was a great pitch, and I'm glad to see you thinking about the packaging and the refill. But there were a few issues I saw in the business model. So you're going for quite a niche and very valuable customer segment, which is being targeted by everybody else, and they are all trying to make their products more sustainable as well. So for example, Unilever have pledged to remove all petrochemical ingredients from their products by 2030. So why would I buy your product when brands with huge recognition are also making products which are just as sustainable as far as I'm concerned?
Just from what you said, Unilever's pledging to do it by 2030. We're in 2020 right now. They haven't done it
30
yet.
seconds left.
They haven't done it yet. We, we hope, our product is ready. It's out there. We're not pledging anything for the future. We're here right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and we're time. Thank you very much, Shan.
Thank you.
Okay. And here, we're going to move on to, well, we've done the question and answer. So here we are. Next starts up, which is
global average,
plastic
we
bag.
recycle only 8% of plastic waste. The rest is incinerated and landfilled. We're now producing over 350 million tons a year and have accumulated over 8 billion tons in our landfills and natural environment. My name is Tal, co-founder and CEO of Plastic Bag. We've developed a solution able to convert plastic waste back to its original valuable form. The raw material developed by Plastic Bag can then be used to create new plastics and alternative fuels, contributing to a more circular economy. We aim to be the missing link between the waste handlers and the petrochemical industry, which is heavily dependent on crude oil drilling. Using our technology, plastic waste will be converted to crude oil, which will then be used to and upcycled by the petrochemical industry at crude oil price. The plastic to fuel market will reach 2.6 billion by 2026. We aim to work with treatment sites. These facilities receive thousands of tons of plastic waste and landfill most of it without benefiting from the waste potential. In the EU alone, there are over 500 sites treating over 60 million tons annually. These facilities are affected by reducing landfill space and growing regulation and are a natural beachhead market for our technology. Utilizing our technology, treatment of plastic waste can be done in room temperature, a huge economic and environmental advantage compared to competition. We can treat difficult waste streams, including PVC, mixed and contaminated. And last but not least, since the conversion is done in room temperature, greenhouse gas emissions are reduced. In order to close the loop, we use chemical oxidation. Our unique process creates free radicals that are present in nature and even in our bodies, but have never been used for plastic treatment before. These free radicals are able to attack the carbon-carbon bonds of the plastic polymer and break them down into smaller and smaller fractions. The plastic waste is inserted into the main reactor. With water and oxygen, the reaction occurs. Then, with a series of pumps and silos, we're able to separate the end product. We've been selected to plug and play in the Alliance to End Plastic Waste Acceleration Program. As part of this program, we were able to ask the leading companies in the petrochemical, plastic manufacturing, and waste handling sectors questions to verify our assumptions. We asked the waste handlers what limits them in achieving higher recycling rates. 80% said technology. We asked the petrochemical industry if they're willing to pay a premium for plastic-derived oil compared to conventional crude oil. 75% said yes, they are. In 5 years' time, and considering our beachhead market only, we will achieve 1.3 million profit margin annually by addressing only 3% of the total addressable market, material recycling facilities. A facility which can be operated for 10 years will produce profits of $3 million for Plastic Bag and around 6 times over for the customer. We have identified market share and products per customer per year as the key drivers. Our solution reduces CO2 emissions compared to landfilling waste and compared to crude oil drilling. For every ton of plastic waste not landfilled, we save 250 kilograms of CO2. For every ton of plastic-derived oil, we save 500 kgs of CO2. In 5 years' time, we will save almost 500,000 tons of CO2 emissions. We're a team of chemists and entrepreneurs dedicated to fixing this problem. We're also collaborating with the Hebrew University with IP and national phases in the EU, US, and China. We've won second place in Shell's prestigious New Energy Challenge and first place in Israel's biggest circular economy competition. We hope you'll also join us on our journey in turning the tide on plastic waste. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Tal, are you with us? Yes, I see you.
Good to be here.
Great. So, get you ready for the Q&A. Welcome to the hot seats. Now, yes, Suhair.
So my question is, how long will it take you to set up the factory, if you will, where you'll do all of this stuff? What's the timeline for that?
Yeah, so in terms of timeline right now, we're finishing up our laboratory phase, and we're planning to move into our first pilot plant in mid-2021. This will be the first pilot 60 kg batch. Later on, we're going to scale up the technology until we can reach a units that can do about 7 tons per cycle, and this will happen in late 2023.
Okay.
Yes, Ron.
Well, is the factories or the units that are they on the waste side, or are they? So it's a mobile unit.
Yeah. So the question at the beginning when we started the journey was, will it be at the petrochemical side or will it be at the waste handling facilities? And it makes much more sense after talking to the market. It makes a lot more sense to have it near the waste handlers than the petrochemical industry. It does, just because logistically it's much easier to ship crude oil than it is to ship and handle plastic waste.
And if a waste handler buys such a site, how much would they pay for the?
Yeah, so our business model is, first of all, to develop and operate in joint ventures with these facilities, or they can purchase one of the units for around 3 million euros. On a later stage, what we're going to do is move on to a licensing model in which we will license the IP for our technology to these waste handling facilities in return for 15% of the revenue. And this model has already been approved.
Thank you.
Great. Pippa, yes.
Hi, Tal. Thanks. Great presentation. Can you tell us a little bit about how long it takes a piece of plastic to go through your process? And can you literally just take mixed plastic recycling and tip it in? Will that work?
Yeah, so let me start with the second question. First of all, one of the biggest problems of the recycling industry is the bottleneck we have with mixed plastic wastes. And one of our advantages is we're able to take in mixed plastic waste, including PVC mixed and contaminated, and then separate the end products later. So we're saving a lot of energy on the separation and the pre-preparation. In terms of the how long it takes for one cycle, it's about 2 to 4 hours, and so
30 seconds.
We're assuming that we're able to do between 3 to 4 cycles per day.
Yes, Christine, final short.
Any byproducts left after you've done this operation?
Yeah, so there are a few byproducts left, and these are metals or pesticides that are in the plastic waste, but we're targeting that in less than 5% of the total plastic waste. And that would be or landfill or go to other processes that we're checking at the moment.
That's time. So good. Well done. Just on time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Tal, and plastic back. All right. So next up, we move to bio.
My name is Marta, and I'm from Mozambique, Africa. And yeah, like most of the African countries, we still deal with war, poverty, and recently cases. But despite it all, we still have people with strength, happy, and willing to change that. So last year, I met Even, and it was like the guy who always made everybody laugh in the classroom. Unfortunately, he got into a car accident, lost part of his leg, and nothing was the same. He had a really hard time to have access to prosthesis. And after some researchers, we realized that 90% of amputee population in Mozambique just don't have access to prosthesis, either because of the high prices, the time it takes to obtain them, or even access to health care. What is more critical for children, because as they grow, the prosthesis needs to be updated. And that's something that biomechanics change. How are we going to do it? We're going to turn plastic residuals collected from the sea into prosthesis, sell them for $45, and change lives. Just to give you a glimpse of what is going on in our market, only 3 public hospitals provide that type of services in the entire country. And our beachhead market, it's going to be Maputo, where we're going to be working with car accident victims and diabetics who have suffered an amputation. And the number is around 48,000. And in the next 3 years, we expect to expand to the north, where we're going to be working with war veterans and mine victims. Since our product it's going to be based on plastic residuals collected from the sea, that will allow us to drop our prices to $45 compared to the $1,000 than other prostheses in the market. And we're going to be allowed to build an entire prosthesis in 24 hours compared to the 1,008 hours that other companies in the market. And I'm going to explain why. So in the traditional process, they mold, they cast, they vacuum form, they feed, they assemble, they adjust. And if you're lucky, it's going to fit you perfectly. If you're not, what happens like 2 and 3 times, you have to repeat the whole process, spending more material, time, and even money. And we are going to do it in a completely different way. We're going to turn plastic residuals collected from the sea into filaments. We're going to make a scan of the residual limb, what increases the compatibility between the residual limb and the prosthesis, creating comfort. We're going to adjust, and we're going to print. Just like that, you will have your prosthesis. And we went to the market having in mind that robotic is the deal, accessories is a must, and we have to deliver the most lighter and comfortable prosthesis as possible. So our biggest learns was that people want a 4x4 prosthesis. Basically, that means they want to be able to play at their house with their kids, go to work, and go to a farm, grab some tomatoes, basically wearing the same prosthesis. We learned that designer matters, hydraulic is heavier, and that's okay. We made 34 interviews, and all of them are willing to test the prototype. And we already have 4 people testing the prototype, including Evan. By the year 5, we expect to have 10% of the market share. And the number of customers, we expect to have 1,033.6 persons by the time. And we expect to have a profit a year of 3.5 millions. And we think that the worth of the product, the scalability and versatility, we allowed us to get there. Our process gonna allow us to save 90% of CO2 compared to the conventional process. We're not gonna use water, and the consumption of energy is gonna be like 85% lower, and we have a clean ocean. And we only 10% of the beachhead market. We expect to save around 68,830.2 tons of CO2. Our team is composed by Dercerita, she's the chemistry, Reginaldo Mula, the IT, and Marta Vanewatella, the industrial designer. And our dream is to get 100,000 people to feel and experience life without restrictions by 2025, and we dream to reuse 20% of the plastic residuals at the most polluted beach in Mozambique in the next 2 years. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Biomech.
Thanks.
Yes, here. Yes, hi, Marta.
Hello.
Welcome. Welcome to the stage.
Thanks.
So over to you, jury. Yes, Christine.
Marta, nice project to give us a new limb to somebody, but how do you plan to convert the trash plastic into up to standard raw material for the 3D printers?
So basically, the process is like we already have associations that collect the plastic. We're gonna pick all this plastic, put that in a extruder, turn that into a few plastic residuals, and then put that in a shredder that basically makes filaments. It's a very technical language. I hope you get it.
Thank you. But then would that filaments be used for doing the prothesis, or could it be used also for other uses?
It can be used for a lot of things, not only filaments, because you just need the filaments to put in a 3D printer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, Pippa?
Hi, could you talk us through how the costs compare with a traditional prosthetic?
Excuse me, I didn't get the question.
Sorry, could you talk us through how the costs compare with a traditional prosthetic?
So basically is that we're gonna put prosthesis for $45, and the traditional prosthesis is like $1,000, basically in the same quality.
It's very impressive. It's lovely to see the multiple benefits of this idea.
Thanks, Pippa.
Yes, Ron.
So how many of those prostheses could you print per day? What's your production capacity?
So with only one prosthesis, we can like build an entire prosthesis in 12 hours, but the 24 hours I'm counting with the assemble and get everything ready, basically. So I don't have to be
seconds.
like 24 hours printing.
24 hours printing per prosthesis?
No, 12 hours printing for prosthesis. The 24 hours is to have the whole prosthesis done.
Gotcha.
The
Okay, thank
assemble
you.
part and everything.
Okay.
With only one 3D printer.
Great. Thank you very much. That's time.
Thanks.
Thank you, judges, and thank you, Marta.
Thanks.
So we have, next up is Manta, and after Manta, we will have a short break and 5 minutes break. So first up though, let's bring on Manta to the stage.
What if I told you that we have a superfood that can solve world hunger? This superfood contains more nutrients, protein, and minerals, and grows nearly 30 times faster than land-based plants. That superfood is algae. Hi Climate Launchpad, I'm Sun Chen from Manta, and we are bringing you the world's first nature-inspired clog-free harvesting system that will revolutionize the algae harvesting process, turning superfood into common food. Algae harvesting has traditionally been energy-intensive and requires expensive centrifuges. That is why we created our hyper-energy efficient algae harvester that will be sold to algae farms at $600 USD each. Currently, microalgae is used in high-value industries such as biofuels, feed, micro, and macronutrients. Because we are from Singapore, we identified our strategic beachhead market to be the farms in the ASEAN and Japan region, which is valued at $800 million USD. And we plan to focus on macro and micronutrient sectors. These farms in our beachhead market are predominantly open field or small scale farms that cater to a rising demand but lack of supply of algae products. To bring algae from superfood to common food, we've identified that cost is a problem for users. We looked into the costs associated with the use of centrifugation in algae harvesting. On average, our customers will save up to 60% of annual costs in algae harvesting, with added benefits of up to 90% of energy savings compared to the use of existing systems. Furthermore, Manta is not only a smart filter that tracks the yield and efficiency of the harvesting, but it also empowers our small-scale farmers with flexibility as they are only charged based on usage. Inspired by Mother Nature, we are called Manta because our product is based on the unique and natural filtration system found in manta rays. As seen on the left, our Manta harvester comprises multiple filters, which are uniquely designed fins placed at a precise angle to allow the harvesting to occur. Our harvester will be fitted into the outlet of algae ponds in the farms. The algae strands will bounce off the surface of the fins, shown by the orange balls at the top of the image on the left, while water passes through those fins, resulting in the separation and harvesting of the algae. This innovative mechanism enables Manta to achieve a 92% improvement in efficiency level over the use of conventional harvesters. And that is why it is a hyper energy efficient harvester. Our innovation is provisionally patented and is currently the only clog-free high-performance filter in the market. Our filter is also made from biodegradable plastics, which will be recycled upon its end of life, contributing to the circular economy. For our sales, we are targeting 20% of our beachhead market, which is around 400 customers. The key drivers of our business are the price of our harvester, the market share, and the number of harvesters sold per deal. This leads us to a profit of around $1.4 million USD by the 5th year of our business. Moving on to our climate impact, our technology emits up to 49% less CO2 compared to existing certification methods. This leads to 22 tons of CO2 savings per year with nearly 400 beachhead customers alone. That is equivalent to the amount of carbon captured by 24 football fields of trees in a year. What's even better is that the savings above is purely from energy usage. But our superfood algae is also able to capture carbon from the environment, further increasing the amount of CO2 savings. We spoke to several algae farm owners and researchers and discovered that clogging of the filter systems was indeed an issue, and that current harvesting systems incur high cost and energy usage. That is where our system comes into play, to provide a more cost and energy efficient, clog-free harvesting system to tackle that problem. At Manta, we are a team of 5 dreamers with diverse areas of expertise. We have received recognition from tech companies like Ericsson and enterprise facilities like NUS CleanLaunchpad. By 2025, we want to partner with 200 farms, create 600 new jobs, and attain a total of $2 million worth of revenue. Ultimately, we want to create state-of-the-art engineering innovations that will disrupt and revolutionize the food industry, so to improve our planetary health. We bring you Manta, turning superfoods into common food.
Great, thank you, Manta. I see we have Sean here with us today. Hi, Sean. Welcome.
Hi. There are 2 of my other members here.
Hi.
Joshua. 3, sorry. Yeah.
Hi, hi.
Hi.
Hello to you both. Oh, I see there's 3 of you. Huh? Great. So, over to the judges. Yes, Ron?
Did you say carbon capture? Could you explain that?
So for algae, when the algae are placed in the algae farms, actually before they are being harvested, they are actually exposed to natural sunlight. And as you mentioned, that in the open field or small scale farm. So in that sense, the algae will actually take in the sunlight and also are able to sequester carbon because they photosynthesize in the process as well before being harvested.
Yes, Pippa.
Hi, great to meet you and thanks for your pitch, Sean. Yeah, I think you could probably increase your carbon impact statement a little by looking at what you're displacing as well. So if the algae is being used for for food instead of some more carbon intensive crop, I mean there could be multiple impacts there. So I had a question around the IP pathway for this. I mean, to my eyes, it looks like a very simple filter. I'm sure a lot of effort has gone into the exact right angle and the testing and so forth. But I know you've got a provisional patent, but regardless of the patent, how complicated do you think it's going to be for somebody else to emulate what you're doing if it is successful?
Joshua, do you want to take the question?
Yeah, because our patent is actually we are partnering with our university to secure our patent. So essentially, our patent has our university backing as well. So I think the challenges is definitely hard, but I think what the filter, we have managed to perfect the angle such that it ensures that it is clog resistant. So I think that is something that is hard to replicate, and it's not just. I think that's something that is really hard, it's hard to replicate, and I think that gives us an advantage.
You're not concerned about reverse engineering?
Well, I would say that the mechanism behind it, which is the ricochet mechanism, is a newly discovered a novel method, which was only published in 2018. So in that regard, we seem to be the first mover in the application of using the ricochet mechanism for algae filtering. In terms of, I think, really protecting our patent, we don't really have much experience in that regard. So we can only hope to move fast enough to really capture the market. And I think even more than that is that we're here to really bring a superfood like algae to really small scale farmers. And we'll just see how that goes.
30 seconds left. And Christine, I saw you had unmuted yourself before. Would you like to have a go?
Yes, thanks. Great presentation, Sean. I just wanted to know what is the IoT component you have in the device on the one hand, and next, is this clog filter adaptable to any other plants around already operational?
Hi, Christine, great question. So because of time, I'll try to make it very quick. So IoT, because it's a living organism, we plan to check temperature, flow rate, and stuff like that really affects the quality of the algae harvested, which is a very sensitive organism. In terms of adapting to large-scale plants, we have not done testing large-scale plants because one, they're not really a focus. Because a bit about the market. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. So we have a short break now for a few minutes. I will see you back here at 5 o'clock. So get a glass of water, have a stretch, and we'll see you back here for the next half. Thanks.
Okay. You can try now, stop sharing.
All right. So it's 5 o'clock. We're welcoming everybody back. I hope we've had a chance to stretch and relax. Get ready for the next pitches. So, quick check to see, do we have our jury members with us? I see Ron, I see Christine. Hi, Pippa. And Seher, great. Oh, thank you very much. So we've got our next team coming up, which is...
Hi, I'm Matilda De Silva from the Ocean Purpose Project. Let's talk trash. Asia's plastic pollution inflicts $1.3 billion in damage annually to economies in the region. Plastic that chokes wildlife, the environment, and us humans. Since plastic comes from oil, why don't we turn it back into oil, creating a profit motive? Trash to treasure. Here's how it works. Just one OPP-PTF unit can convert 2 tons of plastic a day into low sulfur fuel, wax, carbon black, while the gases can be captured and turned into expensive products such as carbon nanotubes, retailing at 100,000 USD per ton. It costs 5,500 USD per ton to run the machine, but we can earn $10,000 per ton. Market validation among UNDP, shipping, and petrochemical mentors have been strong, but the question persists: why hasn't this been done before? 3 key reasons. So far, cheaper pyrolysis machines have been polluting the environment, especially because of poor capture of gases and lax safety standards. OPP will use top global systems, bolstered with Singaporean research to optimize byproduct capture. Our beachhead market will utilize live stream webinars to detail all these efforts and help us fund our research. Number 2, pyrolyzed oil has been deemed too expensive for its low sulfur content. All that changed on January 1st, 2020, with the latest IMO 2020 Global Maritime Regulations, mandating all maritime vessels to use low sulfur fuels. In our hometown of Pasir Ris, our plastic-to-fuel machines will bring hundreds of jobs during these tough COVID times. 3, currently the best-in-class pyrolysis machines are factory size. Our nimble deployable pyrolysis units fit inside a container, perfect for use on board a maritime vessel or sent to a remote island to handle waste. Why is it so sexy? 3 reasons. First, unlike recycling that needs specific plastics, our machines accept all waste plastic, burns it at high heat in the absence of oxygen, and captures everything into valuable products. Best part, it fits into a 40-foot container and it's easy to be shipped. Second, for a poor person, the ocean plastic crisis may not rank high on their priorities. Per day, each OPP-PTF unit can churn out 4 tons of low sulfur fuel, valued at 2,564 USD. The fuel burns at twice the efficiency of diesel and more than half the emissions, providing the perfect incentive to poor coastal communities. Third, we believe in the power of organized collective effort. Ocean Purpose Project involves every ocean plastic effort, from communities in remote islands to NGOs, effectively turning every plastic collection point and even our competitors into our suppliers. Here's how it works. In every OPP-PTF unit, plastic is sorted and shredded, pyrolyzed into fuel, gases are sequestered, and fuel is collected. Imagine a massive container ship heading out to the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, loaded with 1,000 OPP-PTF units. By the time we pull into port, one ship could turn waste plastic into 2,000 tons of fuel. Well, sounds unreal? Guess what? It can be done, and it has been done. Welcome to Madang Island, Indonesia. Beaches inundated with 2 to 3 meters of plastic. 3,000 people poor, jobless, with no fish. Last year, islanders received a basic pyrolysis machine to convert waste plastic collected by school kids into fuel for daily use. The machine produces 3 bottles of fuel a day, powering generators and fishing boats, providing jobs and solving the ocean plastic problem, not just with the machine, but with the entire community. Look at the beach today, clean and ready for fishing boats and eco-tourists, of course, when everything opens up. If we collected 2 tons of plastic a day, we would cover our fixed costs within a year. Success in year 1, OPP breaks even, removing 500,000 kgs of ocean plastic. We want to give the power back to poor coastal communities. After all, why would they throw rubbish into rivers and seas when it can power their 2-stroke engines? To be honest, we shouldn't need an OPP-PTF machine. But as any mom will tell you, who's gonna clean up this mess? Well, we are, and we will get the big dirty polluters to help us do it, instead of them throwing checks on greenwashing campaigns. Well, I guess the bigger question is, why are we doing this? In 2015, coastal pollution in Boracay changed my health and my life forever. With the remaining health I've got left, I want to live and work with a purpose. The biggest waste is not the plastic washing up on our shores. The biggest waste are our ideas that are focused on problems instead of disruptive solutions. The OPP-PTF machine is the ideal stopgap measure to clean our oceans. Since chasing never-ending profit is what got us into this mess, maybe purpose-driven profit can get us out of it.
Great. Thank you very much.
Hi.
Now it's time for Q&A. So are you with us? Yes, Purpose Project, I see you.
Yes,
Welcome.
I am.
All right. So thank you very much for your pitch. Over to the jury.
Thank you, Denise.
Yes, Christine.
Hi, good presentation, thank you. Just wanted to know, it's great that it looks like there is no byproduct to this project, but I just wanted to know what is about the energy consumption, which you would need to run the plant to produce, to convert the trash into energy.
Okay, thank you so much for your question, Christine. Actually, I can address two points. The first bit is about the energy that is required for the OPP unit. The first burn is always the trickiest. That's the one that requires electricity. Subsequent burns is where we will be using the hydrocarbon gases, which is the byproduct, to power the subsequent burns for the machine. This brings us to the fact that the hydrocarbons, I mean, if we just look at the gases, they're actually the cheapest byproduct that comes out of this whole process. But within the hydrocarbons and byproduct itself, through our research in partnership with universities in Singapore, we found out that that byproduct can actually be monetized into a product that is even more valuable than fuel. Retailing at 100,000 USD per ton. So I think, you know, these kinds of numbers and this kind of research is really what is a game changer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Suhair.
Thank you, Matilda. Very, very good presentation. Tell me, how do you actually put together the plant, if you will, which is a mobile unit? What does it take to do that?
Thank you, Zuhair. Well, it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. To be honest, I'm really glad that Tal from Plastic Bank actually went first to explain what pyrolysis is. Saves me a lot of time. What we are doing is we are selecting the best-in-class industry players. You know, the best-in-class plastic shredders, PTF, that could be chemical catalysts, pressurization, even pyrolysis, and putting all of them together. And our expertise is in the assembly within the unit. This really depends on what is the needs of the particular community that is requesting the unit or the government agency. It could be yield of fuel or yield of hydrocarbons or yield of carbon black that is their priority. Then that is also what helps us to be able to tailor the different aspects of the machine and exactly how we would put that together as well. Of course, for remote coastal communities, especially in Southeast Asia, where I'm from, the main aim is for us to clean up our oceans and just get as much of that plastic into our machines as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have 30 seconds left.
All right.
For a final question. Yes, Pippa.
Hi, Matilda. So this isn't a question. I just wanted to say I thought your pitch was great, and you know, your personality came across really strongly and your passion for doing this project. So good for you.
Thank you so much, Pippa. I'm going to look forward to your investment there.
And that's a good way to end those 3 minutes. Thank you very much for your pitch and your Q&A.
Thanks, everybody.
So here we have it. Next startup is Accommodate.
Access to clean drinking water was declared a human right by the United Nations a decade ago, but today roughly 1 billion people still lack access to safe drinking water. Time alone will not heal this trauma. On the contrary, waters are becoming increasingly polluted by new kinds of harmful substances that aren't removed by today's water treatments. My name is Simon Isaacson, and I'm here as the co-founder and CEO of Accommodate to show you how our team will turn time into our advantage in this pressing water situation. Wouldn't it be convenient to possess a superpower that turned the ticking of the clock into your advantage rather than a stressor? As nobody in our team possesses such capabilities, we decided to produce a super powder instead, doing exactly that. This powder needs to be applied in a suitable context in order to make an impact, and our targeted customers are therefore membrane producers, companies that produce water filter material such as this polymer membrane. They buy our powder at a rate of 75 euros per gram in order to incorporate it into their membrane material. These materials are used in a range of applications, so what application are we focusing on? Our beachhead market is membrane producers that supply desalination membranes to the European point-of-use device market. A point-of-use device purifies water in connection to where it is used and may, for example, be located under the sink, as in the illustration. What attracted our attention in the European point-of-use device market was both the consumer trend towards investing in healthier drinking water and the European Union water roadmap focusing on decentralization. With time, we'll scale up our production volumes to target medium-sized brackish water desalination plants, followed by large-scale desalination plants. 5 years ago, desalination accounted for 1% of the global drinking water production, but in 5 years from now, it is predicted to account for as much as 14%. The value we bring to the table is a 65% reduction in manufacturing cost for the membrane producer. How do we do that? Now this is where taking advantage of time comes into play. Nature has optimized water purification into perfection for a long time, and this is what we're leveraging to boost the performance of man-made water filters. Our powder comprises extremely efficient water channeling proteins and barrier molecules that are found in every living entity. We use natural stabilization by forming a thin protective coating made from sand, much like some algae do. The resulting particles are hollow and therefore offers an almost resistance-free shortcut through the very dense polymer matrix that desalination membranes are made of, as you can see in the illustration to the right. This is because the power of the powder is that it increases the permeability of desalination membranes up to 1,000-fold without sacrificing purity. This results in benefits such as reduced energy consumption and fouling in water purification processes, as well as lowered requirements on, for example, pump capacity. In addition, our powder is made solely from naturally abundant components, using a patent-pending process based on 7 years of academic research. We've listened to the 15 membrane producers active in our beachhead market, similar actors on a global level, as well as end consumers. Our starting assumptions were that membrane producers are willing to pay for decreased energy consumption, that the desire of the membrane producer doesn't necessarily match that of the end consumer, and that our super powder is compatible with existing membranes. All of these turned out to be correct. In addition, we learned that it is of utmost importance to stick to water quality legislation and therefore to manage risks of variability in water purity. Furthermore, energy consumption is a key concern, but it's equally important to decrease the fouling propensity and equipment size. In terms of financials, we'll reach a profit of 20 million euros per year within our beachhead market. The key value drivers are the net price and cost per product, along with the market share. The cost per product is expected to decrease with time as we'll scale up the powder production. Desalination requires large amounts of energy to push water through the dense polymer membrane that I showed you earlier. By increasing the permeability using our super powder additive, we're able to reduce the carbon dioxide emissions of our beachhead market by 200,000 tons per year, based on energy savings alone. Our team consists of myself and these fantastic four, mixing business experience from founding several companies with cutting-edge technological expertise. Our true superpower is, however, the joint determination to make an impact to the well-being of Earth and its inhabitants. By the time I turn 40, we have sliced the carbon footprint of desalination in half and provided safe drinking water to another 400 million people, while growing into a business that makes a yearly revenue of 30 million euros. Please support us in accommodating the world's need for clean water. Thank you.
Hello.
There we are. Yes, Ron, I see your hand up. Go for it. That's what I...
It might be a very stupid question. Am I understanding it correctly? So you sprinkle some of your magic dust onto a membrane and the membrane functions better. Is that what it is?
Almost. It sounds that way, but we are sprinkling it into the polymer blend that makes up the membrane. So in the production process, we sprinkle it into there, and it makes it a lot better. Yes, that's the magic indeed.
And do the membrane manufacturers see that as a problem? And how much does it cost for them to adjust their production systems, or do they?
They don't really see it as a problem. So we have a few collaboration projects started right now. So we are also doing this in our lab ourselves to mix these particles into the polymer blend, and it's a work in progress. It's a process of optimization, but it's not a problem per se, because it won't be released from the membrane. So that's the key thing here, that it's inside the membrane, and therefore won't affect the water quality.
But do the manufacturers have to adjust their production systems to use your powder?
No, that's one benefit as well, because we add it to one of their monomer solutions. So no.
Okay, thank you.
Very much. Yes, Pippa.
Hi, Simon. Thank you for your pitch. I wonder if you could just talk us through briefly the results you've got from your trials. You talked about some very impressive headline figures, but were there any downsides to the additive? And does it affect the life of the membrane or the brittleness or anything like that?
So we haven't gotten that far into our trials yet as to have quantitative figures. So these are mainly based on calculations, but it doesn't. The main thing that it affects will be the permeability, as I said, and it doesn't really affect the lifetime because we have encapsulated our biological molecules inside the sand stabilization. So in that sense, they will sit there and they will function as this shortcut, and it doesn't affect the lifetime of the membrane in that sense, no.
But it still preserves the quality of the desalination.
It preserves, yes, exactly. So it's a water-specific shortcut. So it only allows water to pass through at a much higher permeability compared to the polymer membrane around it, sort of.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're at 30 seconds, so we have space for one last question. Thank you. Wow, the judges, Simon.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Great. So that's time then. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you to the judges. And so we move to the next startup, which is Solar Grid X.
Hi, my name is Prashant, the co-founder of Solar Grid X. The 40% of carbon emissions are generated because of the electricity that we use. As per UN, renewables need to scale up by at least 6 times to reverse the effects of global warming. But news of investments in solar taking a dive is not unheard of. And we know solar energy is the most abundant and convenient renewable resource, and it's facing slow adoption because it comes with a high setup cost. Generally, it takes about 17,000 euros for a setup, and it can take up to 8 years before people make up for the initial setup cost. And on the other hand, recession fears, pandemic-linked market crashes, and the general lack of financial knowledge are influencing retail investors to stick to savings bank that gives low ROI, or real estate, which requires a lot of capital, or stock market, which is highly volatile. So seeing these problems, we noticed an opportunity to create a safe investment option with small ticket size and high returns. Solar Grid X is a green crowd investing platform that allows anyone to invest in asset-backed, fractional tokenized ownership of solar for just 5 euros in their pocket and get you a return of up to 15% on your investments. After investing, we collect the proceeds. We collect the proceeds to set up solar for commercial and industrial consumers in India. And using PPAs, we sell the electricity to them. We then collect the proceeds and give it back to the investors. We're aiming to capture a 101 billion global solar assets financing market, where only 2.5 billion euros are invested by the public and the rest are invested by big corporations and governments. We're going to significantly increase this number and aim to generate 6.25 million euros by crowdfunding 15 megawatt by 2022. Our target electricity consumer market is in India, the third largest electricity consumer. The target investor base is in MENA with special focus in the UAE. The per kilowatt rate of solar energy is 61% cheaper than that of conventional sources. And investing in solar grid X gives you 15% ROI compared to savings account that just gives you 0.5% ROI, or real estate, which gives you around 7% on an average. Now, how it works. Upon purchasing our token SGX, that represents a fraction of a solar panel, you don't physically own the panels, but we use that money to find a highly vetted site and install these solars using these funds at zero upfront investment for C and I consumers. Electricity that is generated by the panels are sold by us to these consumers using PPAs or power purchase agreements. This way, people can hold on to the tokens and earn up to 15% in ROI or sell their tokens to another buyer, like a P2P platform. With our unique pricing strategy and secondary market, we provide no lock-in of investment with also a lower entry point. We interviewed about 350 plus customers in 5 different personas, along with solar panel suppliers through our co-founders business. And we also interviewed our solar EPC partnerships, and we understood that there's a lack of safe investment options in MENA, and expats are remitting their money back to their home countries. We signed 7 LOIs with large commercial consumers and 5 megawatt worth of deals through our solar panel EPC provider. As we crowdfund the setup cost, our majority of the cost is going towards acquiring investors. We ran pilot ads on Instagram and Facebook and took an account of CAC of 2.5 euros, and we got an average ticket size of 25 euros per investor. We'll be generating a profit of 22 euros for every kilowatt of solar crowdfunded. We aim to raise investments for 15 megawatt worth of solar in the next 2 years, and by doing so, we'll generate a profit of 345,000 euros. Per token we sell on our platform, we will save up to 8.5 kg of CO2 emissions per year. And with 30 megawatt installations in 3 years in our beachhead market, we estimate to save around 30,000 tons of CO2, and the numbers are only way up. Hardik is a CEO and has a family business of solar in India that will give us access to the established ecosystem. Devansh is a CTO. He's been developing apps since the age of 16. And the COO, I've worked as a blockchain research team in Emirates NBD and also handled 3 other startups. Chavi is a certified industrial accountant, and she's well aware of the Indian regulatory framework. We also have excellent advisors with us to complement. Devender is an ex-VP of India's foremost bank, and Monir is working with PwC with a lot of expertise with sustainability startups. Our vision is to reverse climate change using tokenization to open mass investments in solar. And we aim to attract 150,000 plus retail investors by the end of 2021, launch 50 solar sites by end of 2022, and expand our consumer base from India to regions like Africa by the end of 2021. We also ran a successful pilot project in Gujarat in India that's generating returns of up to 14%, and we also raised 15,000 euros in grants. We were also awarded Emerging FinTech Talent MENA by the ADGM Authority, which is the Abu Dhabi government's financial regulator. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Amma.
Thank you. Who do we have with us from Solar Grid X? There we are. Hi, Hardik.
Hi.
Welcome. Hi. Great. So, thank you very much for your pitch, and I pass you on to the jury. Yes, Suhair, and then Ron.
So thank you very much for that. How do you actually identify the right person to invest in, the right company to invest in? What are your criteria for that?
If you're talking about the retail investors who is putting their money into SGX tokens, initially we are going to partner with brokerage firms, and we have actually already started a conversation with a brokerage firm that has access to $100,000 of funds under his management. Along with that, we are also going to target eco-conscious investors who look for sustainable investment options. And after 1 year, we are going to target retail investors who may or may not have anything for the environment, but would look for good returns in a stable market. And if you talk about the solar consumers, we are going for commercial and industrial consumers.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And Ron. I saw your hand go up.
The platform that you've developed, is that a proprietary platform?
So this is a blockchain token, and we have tokenized our tokens on NEM blockchain, which is a public blockchain platform. But we are a regulated startup, and we need to be regulated by the Financial Authority of Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So this license itself is an IP because it's only issued to one company per year. So, and we have a major geographical advantage to be actually based in UAE because that's the only jurisdiction that have a legal framework for security tokens available as of 2020.
But if you can tokenize solar, you could tokenize wind.
Right. So solar is it's just about hitting the right nerves of the investors at the right point. Solar, everyone knows, whereas wind is not, a very popular renewable. So after we have an established investor base on our platform, we are going to go for high value assets like wind or other renewable sources.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Christine.
Thanks for your presentation. I'm not sure I understand the PPAs you are doing. Is it a bit to go to the national grid, or are you doing a private grid to produce your energy and value the output?
So we are going for the rooftop solar segment and not the utility solar segment. So this is between us and the consumer itself, and not between the grids. So we are not supplying electricity to the grid, but we are directly supplying it to the consumer.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. For your last 30 seconds, we have Pippa.
Hi, thanks for your presentation. Can you tell us more about what feedback you've had from potential investors, customers, like if this is a product that they really want to have?
So right now we have a live project in Anand, Gujarat, India. This is a 6 kilowatt plant, and it saw 173 investors putting their money in. And we also have 350 early signups on our platform already. And we were getting, so we ran some pilot ads on Insta and Facebook also, and we were getting a very good response.
Thanks.
Great, thank you very much. That's your 3 minutes. So thanks for joining us, Team Solar Grid X. And so we're going to bring on our next startup, which is Kairos Energy, and they are coming right up.
Hi, my name is Jonathan, Team Lead Operations and Product Development at Kairos Energy. Did you know that in Uganda, 10 trees are cut per hour? And here's why. Government statistics reveal that 4.7 million households use lamp charcoal for food preparation, a fuel that exposes the entire household to huge amounts of carbon emissions when burnt. And as a result, 31,600 Ugandans die annually of the associated non-communicable diseases. By supplying biomass briquettes, Kairos Energy made efforts to mitigate this drastic situation, but we believe that the time has come for a more viable solution. Kairos Energy therefore plans to develop and sell battery-powered electric stoves to middle-income households in Kampala, Uganda, at 60 euros per stove, whose batteries we shall then recharge at a fee of 10 euros per month. Our beachhead market are the 280,500 middle-income households in Kampala, Uganda. They currently spend up to 30% of their earnings on cooking energy expenditure, reducing disposable income available for other necessities like health and education. Living in urban and suburban areas, they cook indoors and are greatly exposed to indoor air pollution, which not only causes respiratory diseases, but also makes cooking a very dreadful experience. Their frustrations are shared by their counterparts in Eastern and Sub-Saharan Africa, together with those in developing countries all over the world. On average, households using our product will save 78% of their current annual cooking energy expenditure, while enjoying zero emissions cooking at a 75% more efficiency. Our product is a low voltage induction stove with a resonant converter powered by a rechargeable battery to increase efficiency while reducing production costs. To minimize costs due to unreliable electricity, we shall recharge our batteries periodically at our solar-powered recharge station, thus establishing a virtual power line in the process. For competitive advantage, we'll apply for quality certifications with organizations like ISO and Uganda National Bureau of Standards, provide a 2-year warranty, a 2-month free recharge period, and our product is patentable. We interviewed 80 households in Kampala, Uganda, and neighboring areas, with our first key assumption being that change is desired. And we learned that yes, a more affordable, time-efficient, heat-efficient, low emissions alternative is desired together with cooking heat control. Our second key assumption was that our beachhead market is willing to completely give up its current cooking fuel, and we learned that yes, but only for a proven, more affordable, and heat-efficient alternative. By our 5th year, with a 20% market share, Kairos Energy expects to be making profit per year of 6.9 million euros from our battery recharging service and an additional profit per year of 560,000 euros from sale of electric stoves, with our key drivers being market size, market share, and cost of delivery. Households using our product will reduce their carbon dioxide cooking emissions by 83% or 2.3 tons per year, saving a total of 93,000 tons per year of carbon dioxide in our beachhead market. The direct substitution for lamp charcoal will also translate into a decline in the rate of deforestation, saving a total of 48,000 hectares of forests annually. Kairos Energy's founder members are Baka David, in charge of marketing and finance with an international business specialty, and myself, Jonathan Ojangole, in charge of operations and product development with a computer science and physics specialty. And we dream to create a more efficient and affordable means of cooking for 56,000 households by 2026, to achieve an 80 million euro valuation in the next 5 years, and to save 500,000 hectares of trees or forests by 2030. Thank you for listening.
Great,
Hello,
thank
my
you
name
very
is
much, Team Kairos Energy. So who do we have with us today from the team?
You have David Baka. I'm the marketing head, Kairos Energy and Communication.
Hi, David. And I see Jonathan. Great, welcome. And
We're
Pippa.
both together.
Fantastic. Pippa, go for it.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, David. Thank you for the presentation. What a great idea. Can you tell us a little bit about the design of your stove? Is it a novel design that you think you can protect the design of, or do you think this is something that you'll get a lot of copycats on once you get it out into the market?
Okay, definitely.
Thank you.
Okay, Jonathan, take it.
Thank you for your question. Our product is new, but the underlying technologies are not. The underlying technologies have existed, but it's the way that they fit together that actually makes it hard to replicate. That is what makes our product new in a sense and patent pending.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Is that Christine? Yeah.
Yes. David, Jonathan, thank you for the presentation. I just wanted to, you were saying that it's 10 euro for a recharge for a month, actually. How many cooking hours would 10 euros provide to a household of 2 or 4? I don't know. What are your assumptions?
It would provide 2 to 3 weeks for when there's high energy use. 10 euros would provide 2 weeks. When it's low energy use, would provide 3 weeks to almost a month.
for a family of how much and for how many cooking time?
Oh, for the cooking time, 6 hours a day. Cooking time, 6 hours a day. And you just pay the 10 euros monthly, and you provide the receipt, and we shall keep, we'll swap your battery with a recharged one.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Ron.
So you need to build quite an extensive infrastructure to do the loading of all those batteries across your country. How much investment is that going to take?
To reach our goal, we need 300,000 euros.
And then you have national coverage for charging stations across your country.
That would take us an additional 200,000 euros. So that's a total. It's a total budget of 500,000 euros to reach nationwide.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And you've got 30 seconds left for a final question. Thank you both for your presentation. Okay, and that's the end of the 3 minutes. Thank you for being with us today. And so, thank you to everybody. And that concludes our pitches for today. So thank you all for your pitches. Teams, you are free to go. The jury will now stay with me to deliberate and tune in tomorrow morning for CLP